So there's a brand new way to buy a Steam Deck direct from Valve that's the cheapest it's ever been. Let's take a look. So you've probably heard already that Valve is selling certified refurbished Steam Decks directly on their store. And the thing is, I didn't realize until now just how cheap they were. And honestly, the base 64 gig Steam Deck, the certified refurbished one, is an absolute steal. So just for context, right? The 64 gig Steam Deck sells for £349 or about $399, right? And during both the Steam summer sale and the spring sale previously, it was discounted by 10%. And that brought it down to about £315 or about $360. And that's brand new. So now, Valve is selling it at an even further 10% discount from there. So they're selling a certified refurbished Steam Deck, 64 gig, for about £279 or roughly $320. And that, my friends, is an incredible price. Now, obviously, it's not brand new, right? It's certified refurbished, which means somebody bought it, played around with it, maybe they realized they didn't like it or there was something wrong, and they sent it back to Valve, right? And Valve obviously went through the whole refurbishing procedure. They went through the whole process, and now it's back on sale on their site. And personally, if this was me, I would buy this in a heartbeat. If I didn't already have a Steam Deck, I think this would be the perfect entry point, because at the end of the day, this is certified by the manufacturer themselves and sold directly by them, right? It would be like Apple, for example, refurbishing like a MacBook or an iPhone and then selling that on as a certified refurbished product on their own site. And just like a brand new Steam Deck, this certified refurbished model comes with a 1-year warranty and everything that comes with that, right? And because you're buying directly from Valve, that warranty actually means a lot. So if anything goes wrong, so for example, right, if you've seen Wolfden's recent video on buying a refurbished Steam Deck, you've probably seen that his Steam Deck came with a bit of a malfunctioning screen, and something like that is probably quite rare. But even in that case, it would be easy enough to send it back and get it fixed and then get that sent back to you completely for free, because again, it's directly with Valve. The warranty means quite a lot. And because personally I'd recommend opening it up anyway and swapping out the SSD, personally I wouldn't really bother getting anything other than the 64 gig version, and just again opening up, swapping out the SSD for a 512 gig or 1TB, whatever SSD, and just going from there. And because you're saving around 20% of the price of a brand new Steam Deck, which in pounds is around 70 quid and in dollars is around $80, because you're saving such a large chunk of money, you can put that directly towards buying the SSD or an SD card or anything really, right? And the thing is, right, that 20% price differential really does offset most of the costs that are going to go into buying a new SSD. So because a 1TB 2230 NVMe SSD costs in pounds roughly around 70 to 80 quid, right? Which is basically the amount of money that you're saving off a brand new Steam Deck, right? So literally for the same price as a base model brand new 64 gig Steam Deck, if you buy the certified refurbished one instead, you save 20% off the cost of a brand new one, and then you buy a 1TB NVMe in the 2230 form factor, slap that in, and then literally for the price of a brand new 64 gig Steam Deck, you have a 1TB Steam Deck. And obviously it's not quite brand new, but again, the warranty is the same as a brand new one, and you bought it directly from Valve, so that should be, no fuss right there. And honestly, if I could go back and do it again, if I didn't have my own Steam Deck, this is exactly what I would do. So this is a great buy. And I do think the real standout here is the 64 gig model, because while the 256 gig and the 512 are both reasonably priced, I believe specifically the 512, correct me if I'm wrong, but during the Steam summer sale, the 512 gig was already discounted by 20%, right? Which brought it roughly in line with the price that they're selling a certified refurbished model right now. So that I don't think is a particularly amazing price, right? It's still the same price as a brand new 256 gig Steam Deck, so you're saving a good chunk of money there. But personally, again, by far and away, the best value is the 64 gig. You can buy that for 20% off, slap a 1TB NVMe SSD in there, and you're good to go. Okay, so we've talked pros, right? I've talked you into why you might want to buy one. Now let's talk cons. Obviously, first of all, it's not a brand new product, right? That comes with the territory. you're buying a certified refurbished product, and at the end of the day, no matter how good the refurbishment process is, there's going to be things they miss, there's going to be errors, there's going to be mistakes, right? You can see this in some of the other videos I've put online, where a couple of people, I believe, have received Steam Decks that weren't exactly in particularly great condition. Now, the problem is, it really is a mixed bag. I've bought refurbished products myself from Amazon and from a couple of other places, I believe cash converters here in the UK. So I bought my Xbox Series S and my Logitech G Pro X Superlight, both refurbished. My Xbox from cash converters and my G Pro X from Amazon, and they both arrived in decent condition. The Xbox was basically perfect. The G Pro X Superlight, very much less so. There was like paint peeling off the sides. It was a bit grimy and stuff. So I cleaned it up a bit and I complained, and I got a further reduction in price by about, I think, another 20 or so percent. Personally, at that price, I was happy with it. But again, when it comes to the Steam Deck, you're shelling out a good chunk of money, right? It's about £300 or $300, right? Give or take. And at that price, you want to make sure that everything works. So if you do go ahead and buy one, when it arrives in the mail, just make sure you check it over, check it with a fine-tooth comb, just mess around with all the buttons and all the inputs, make sure that they're working correctly. Maybe give it a few days before you decide to swap out the SSD, just to see how it's performing as is. Because then if something does go wrong, at least then you can contact Valve immediately, get it fixed, maybe get an RMA and get a new one, right? So just give it a few days, test it out, see if there's anything weird about it, see if there's anything like outstanding that could be fixed, and then if you feel comfortable, after 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week max, then I'd go ahead and buy a brand new 1TB SSD or 2TB or 512, it's up to you, and then again just swap it out directly, and then you're good to go. Honestly, like, this is a good buy. It's a really good buy. And I don't really have any qualms with buying refurbished product. Most of the time, quite frankly, it's people who have bought something, opened it up, tried it out for a few minutes, decided it's not really for them, and then sent it straight back. It's very rare that, it would have been used for a prolonged period of time, and it could also be the fact that they bought it, realized something was wrong with it as they started using it, and then sent it back. But then in that case, the manufacturer, Valve in this case, would have gone through the whole process of refurbishing it, checking everything, checking all the components work as expected, testing everything again before putting it back on sale. So I'd say keep your eyes open when you get it, but don't be too cautious. It's not dangerous by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, another con is, because these are returns from customers, a customer has to actually return one for new stock to arrive. So currently, at least in the UK, I believe the 64 gig and the 512 gig refurbished Steam Decks are out of stock. But to be fair, even the brand new Steam Deck, I think both the 64 gig and the 256 gig are out of stock as well. So it's just a waiting game, right? I'd say if you are interested, just continue to check up on the Steam store every few days. Just see if there's anything happening. You might be able to sign up for stock alerts. I'm not entirely sure if that works on these refurbished models, but it might do. That being said, if you do have a Steam Deck and you're interested in swapping out the SSD, I have a guide for that right up here, and I'll catch you next time.